Welcome to Caseback Watches. My name is Tim and I'm happy to be back because I almost died. Yes, I was on the road together with my band and I was in a very, very cold backstage facility for hours and I catched a very nasty cold, flu. And I'm a normal man. If I have flu, then I'm dead sick. But yeah, as you can see, I'm feeling better now. And so today's topic is eBay. Why eBay? Well, because of the Memovox drama from one of the last videos, link there, and some other accidents. For example, this. I bought this. This is a Hamilton, late 90s, and I met the guy in person who sold me this, eBay seller. I met him in person, and it was a very nice young man, a mechanic, works as a mechanic for cars, and his hobby is restoring old pocket watches. I found this very interesting, and he showed me some examples, and then I felt very, very confident that this is a good watch. And is it a good watch? No, it runs like shit. The amplitude is down to 100 and loses 2.5 minutes a day. But I think it was a mistake, only a small mistake. I'm absolutely confident that this particular seller is an honest guy. So Patrick, if you're watching this, relax, all right? I don't say that you are a crook. This was a tiny mistake, and I think we all have made some of those mistakes. But this inspired me to make another video how to buy watches on eBay, because it is important. It is one of the major sources for watches is eBay, okay, if you like it or not. But there are some traps. There are some really, really nasty traps of dishonest sellers. And again, Patrick, if you're watching this is only an example. You are not a crook. I'm talking about the other guys. In fact, Patrick already sent me back the money. And so everything's cool. Everything's fine there. But now let's go into detail. Have I done this? Yes. One time I've done this. Is this a super crime? I don't know. I don't think so. Is it good style? Certainly not. But you can see it all the time. And the idea behind this is, of course, it's easier to make 2 small cuts than a big cut. Okay, and if you want to resell a watch, then sometimes it's easier to rip off the bracelet and sell it separately, and then you're fine. The problem is if you have a rare piece, a vintage piece, and the bracelet is one of the less of its kind, then it's a really nasty action to separate those pieces. And this is really nasty. And the trick removing a link from bracelet is just an asshole move. Just a pure asshole move. And every time I see this on eBay or I hear this, well, you have a bigger wrist, but maybe I can arrange an extra link for you, will cost you only $50. Then asshole move, pure asshole move. Stay away from that. Yeah, this is a nice one. This is a really nice one. I cannot see any scratches there. Of course, there are scratches, but the seller, maybe he needs stronger glasses, or maybe he is confused or has blurry mist in his head or whatever. And if you complain, hey man, you see a huge scratch on the Caseback, what's going on? Then he says to you, hey, read the description please. I said I cannot see this. And then he's not a liar, he's just a blind fool. Okay, if you are from Russia, relax now, okay? Relax. This is just an example. I could have said for the Italian market or the German market or the English market. Okay, you get the idea. A special such and such market. The idea behind this is selling a fake. Somebody wants to sell you a fake, but he wants to have a back door open, because if somebody noticed that there's something wrong with the watch, that this is a fake, then he can say, oh, what? Oh God, I didn't know this. I bought it, and the seller told me that it's a special model for the Ukrainian market, only for them, and so it's very special. I thought it's legit. And so again, he thinks we see him then just as an idiot and not as a criminal, which doesn't make any sense, to be frank here, because in most countries it's not necessary that you know the law when you're violating it, okay? Prosecution will follow even if you're not familiar with those laws. Really impudent. I had this case once with another Memovox, 35mm model, hand winding 50s. And on the image on eBay, on one of the images, there was something wrong. The dial was crooked. The entire dial was a little bit crooked. And I saw it on the image, and I wrote the guy and I asked, what's going on? And he told me, this is the camera lens. I don't know the technical term, but sometimes you can see those blurry effects through the camera lens. And he said, there's everything okay with the dial. Everything great. And I bought the watch, and it arrived, and then I saw crook dial. What the fuck? And I could measure it with. It was very easy to determine this. And I wrote back to him, and what are you doing here? The dial is crooked, and you said to me black on white. It is not. And then he was really impudent, and he was a real asshole. And if you're watching this, you're a real asshole. And and I asked my lawyer what to do now, and my lawyer said to me, Tim, you really want to make a case out of this? I mean, with bills and lawyers and court and everything, this we can do this, but this is work and trouble, and it's not worth it, basically. And then I sold the watch with a discount in a forum. I said, hey, great watch, but here's something wrong with the dial. Please note this, and I'll give you a huge discount. And then I've sold the watch, make a small loss, and then I was out of that. And this is exactly what the seller wants. He thinks he can get away with that. And often this is true, especially if we're talking about cheaper watches. I mean, if you spend 100 on a watch and then something like this happens, often people say, okay, fuck it. I've lost a few bucks, but it's not worth the trouble. Timekeeping abilities. I love this one. I mean, what means checking timekeeping abilities? It's very simple. You wind the watch. You can do it with an automatic as well. You wind the watch, you set the time, you put it on the table. Next morning, you check the time. And you can see, oh yeah, timekeeping abilities are there, or you can see, oh no, doesn't keep time. And this is exactly the case when somebody writes unchecked, there are no timekeeping abilities, with one exception. Some sellers, they use this phrase to stay away from those super picky buyers. You know, this kind of person who buys the first time a mechanical watch and then complains like, this loses 4 seconds every day and you told me it's a super accurate watch. So, but from my experience, I can say, if you read this, timekeeping abilities are unchecked, then there are no timekeeping abilities. Okay, big question here. If this is so easy, why didn't he bring the piece to the watchmaker? And the explanation, of course, it is not easy to fix. Maybe you have a broken crystal and it's impossible to buy the part new. And the idea behind this is, of course, selling an economic write-off. Like this Hamilton. I mean, the worth of this watch is, let's say, in good condition, 300 euros, 320 US dollars. And little service for the watch will cost you 100 to 150, and a full service 300. And this is, in my eyes, an economic write-off. This makes absolutely no sense. On the other hand, no, skip that. This is not true. If you say, this is my watch, I want to keep it, I want to wear it the next 10 years, then it could be worth it. Yeah, okay, forget this. This was not accurate. But if you're a little bit like me and you want rotation in your collection, then you have to keep an eye on the reselling value of a piece. And then you don't want to read damage easy to fix, because it's not. Probably it's not easy to fix. Yeah, at the first glance, it's very convenient. If you read in the description, retails at, let's say, 2000, and then you can figure out, well, it's condition is okay, but it's without box and papers, and so let's say the value now is 1000, and you place your bid and you buy it for 1000. 1 year later, you want to sell the piece again, and with a lot of effort and hard work, you receive, let's say, 600, only 600. What went wrong there? Yeah, fake retail price. And if you read a retail price in a description on eBay, then you have to check this, because, of course, the seller picks the highest retail price he can find. And if you take those watches like this Oris 1916 or 1918, this Flieger-inspired Oris, inspired by World War I watches. and it was a big hype on channels like the Urban Gentry. And an interesting watch, of course, but it was a disaster. It was a disaster. I think it was available days after the introduction. It was available on Chrono24 with huge discounts. Retailed back then at, I think, $2,000. And I think nobody paid that price. Nobody. So it was a disaster when it comes to money, of course. Everybody wanted to speak about that watch. Everybody wanted to look at that watch, but nobody wanted to buy it at retail price. So crystal ball bullshit. It's the same thing like somebody says to you, this investment in the stock market will bring you a guaranteed outcome of 10%. This is just bullshit. I mean, if this was true, then I could easily buy every single watch with this warranty, and in, let's say, 5 years, I'll be damn rich. So it makes absolutely no sense. Crystal ball bullshit. So stay away from those kind of promises. Guaranteed increase in value. It's ridiculous. This is, by the way, connected with a rare piece. You can on eBay, you can find Psycho 5 models, and in the description it says it's a rare piece. Now, of course, it's not a rare piece. You can't buy it at every flea market. It's not rare. It's just marketing bullshit. All right. Yeah, there are cursed families on eBay, and I shouldn't laugh, but every week several people there died, and they all have watches. And yeah, and the idea behind this is, of course, the seller, he doesn't want answer questions like, why do you sell that watch? Because the honest answer would be, well, I picked it up on eBay 2 days ago, very cheap, and now I want to make my 20%. We don't want to hear something like that, okay? And so he can write this comes from an estate of a deceased. And I think some sellers are speculating that you will put on your white gloves when it comes to price proposals, right? If you have a very, very poor person there and his father died, and now it's your turn to make a proposal, then let's give him a little bit more. He has so much trouble there. Maybe this is the speculation, and of course this is really nasty, really impudent to use dead people just to make a little bit more money, right? It's very, very bad form. Okay, these were my 10 nasty tricks on eBay. If you know more, please share them in the comments with us. Maybe then in 2 weeks or so we have a nice encyclopedia of nastiness on eBay here on YouTube. And if you like shredding on old guitars, maybe there is an outro for you. And all of you, if you find my content useful, then please consider subscribing. It's very helpful for me. It's encouraging. And now let me thank you very much for your attention, and maybe until next time. Not a good shape. Flu and pain in the hand. Reason obviously is too much playing, and those nasty parts with a lot of tension here. Yeah, but I have to play those those parts in January in CD quality, and so what's this? Oh, neighbors, okay. Let's play something a little bit more elegant, refined, slow.